Classic All-Star Wrestling, featuring the greatest matches in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. And now, here is your host, Adam Parsons.
Hello and welcome once again, Classic All-Star Wrestling. I'm Adam Parsons, and once again, we're here at the School of Morton in Chuckey, Tennessee. Check them out each and every Sunday night, 5:05 live on YouTube and Facebook. That's Eastern Time. Just check them out. Search School of Morton on YouTube and Facebook, and you can find each and every week right there, live, Sunday nights at 5:05. Fans, we have an interesting matchup here, a tag team match. You may have seen clips of this match, but we're going to show it in its entirety for the first time, I think, ever, because when it aired on Memphis television, it was cut down due to TV time. Sold out Mid-South Coliseum crowd. It's the Road Warriors against Jerry the King Lawler and Austin Idol, the Universal Heartthrob. So fans, there's two things I want to tell you about this match. We talked a couple weeks ago about Buzz Sawyer and Tommy Rich coming in from Georgia Championship Wrestling to wrestle for Joe Blanchard in Southwest Championship Wrestling and the expansion of national television. This was not only national television, but it was really the wrestling magazines and the PWI, because at this point the Road Warriors were wrestling for Vern Gagne and the AWA, who at that point did not have national television. But the Road Warriors were becoming so popular through wrestling magazines that Jerry Jarrett brought them into Memphis without them ever really being on TV. Basically just told them, hey, the Road Warriors are going to be in the Mid-South Coliseum. Sells out 10,000 people. So you're quickly seeing how media is affecting professional wrestling in a major way. And we'll get into that as we get into 1985, 86, and 87. Fans, another story that I wanted to tell you is the unique thing, how all of this is tied together here between Jerry the King Lawler and Austin Idol and how they both got to this main event point. Jerry the King Lawler was wrestling for Jerry Jarrett, who was booking Georgia in 1974 for Jim Barnett. Jerry the King Lawler was just starting to use the moniker, The King, to go against Jackie Fargo. He had just started calling himself the King of Memphis. He goes to Atlanta. He meets a wrestler named Bobby Shane. Bobby Shane called himself the King, and Lawler was kind of telling him how he was going to use that same gimmick in Memphis. So Bobby Shane said, hey, I'm getting ready to do these shots in Florida for Eddie Graham. Why don't you use my crown? You can go on TV next week with the crown, do a big interview how you really are the king. And he said, just give it back to me when we see each other again here in Atlanta. So he gives Lawler the crown. Bobby Shane then gets on an airplane with Buddy Colt, Johnny Valentine, a pilot, and a guy named Rick McCord, who later becomes, or Mike McCord, who later becomes the Universal Heartthrob Austin Idol. That is the deadly plane crash there of 1974-1975, ends up killing Bobby Shane, severely injured Buddy Colt and Johnny Valentine, and a severely injured Austin Idol. Austin Idol ended up breaking his ankle, breaking a spot in his back. He was a huge power lifter. He ends up taking all that rehab, shredding all that weight down, and transformed himself from being Iron Mike McCord into the Universal Heartthrob Austin Idol. So within a 24-hour period, Jerry the King Lawler gets a crown from Bobby Shane, and Austin Idol is in that tragic plane crash with Bobby Shane that took his life. But kind of in that same situation of a 24-hour period, Austin Idol would have never became the Universal Heartthrob had that injury not happened, and Jerry the King Lawler would have never got his crown if it wasn't for Bobby Shane. So an interesting story there for you, kind of the backstory on how these two guys really got to the pinnacle of their careers with the King and the Universal Heartthrob name. So let's go take a look at this great classic main event, the Road Warriors against Jerry the King Lawler and the Universal Heartthrob Austin Idol.
Most important bout coming up here. This is the meeting of the mighty Road Warriors, Animal and Hawk. Hawk starting out against the classy team of the Idol and the King, Jerry Lawler and Austin Idol, with Lawler starting. Boy, look at the bulk on these Road Warriors. Total weight of 587 pounds, wrestle out of Chicago. Whoa! And a King unceremoniously dumped on his posterior as Hawk just got all the muscle up behind it and just shoved him off. That's pitching around 234, let me tell you, friend. And once again, Lawler really fired back across the ring. Don't count the King out. You've seen a few adverse moments when he starts out. Not the fastest starter in the world, but he's a whale of a finisher. Hawk takes Lawler straight up in the air and just bounces him down. Little taunting from Animal outside the ring. Lawler straight in, ties it up. Again, he's picked up. Bounced hard, big leg drop from Hawk. Austin Idol, Jerry's partner, comes around, hollers a word down to him. Jerry hadn't gotten untracked yet. Drives that foot in the midsection, and look at that. What a body. National TV champs, the Road Warriors. Once again, Hawk invites Lawler to kick him in the abdominal muscles. Lawler does. Doesn't do anything but move him about a quarter of an inch. Now Lawler, with that big right hand, slams one home, and Hawk just comes after him. Lawler saying, well. Lawler snapped his head back, but it wasn't enough to put him on the deck. Oh. And the Hawk showed that he knows how to fire a right hand, too. Put Lawler right to his knees. 3.5 minutes into the action, and Jerry goes to the corner, tags out to Austin Idol, the heartthrob coming in. He's yeah, they're going to have to face a lot of tough folks before it's over with, starting with this team they're in there with right now. Lawler and Idol. Idol just picked up out of that side headlock, fired across the ring by Animal. And Austin really banged up that hip when he hit. Jerry Calhoun, your official. Idol, with that 242 pounds, slaps off the ropes, using a slingshot effect, fired right back into Animal. He didn't budge him in the middle of that ring. There's a tag on Hawk. So, Austin is going to get a look at the other Road Warrior. And once again, too much bulk. Idol popped him with his shoulder, didn't move him. Road Warriors facing Lawler and Idol. Austin spins around, starts to whip the Hawk out of the corner. Hawk just holds on. Foot in the midsection. Zips Idol across the ring. Big body slam. And he tags it back to Jerry Lawler. Well, Jerry, we told you, a slow starter. Let's see if he's gotten pumped up by his first experience, and after watching Idol, see if he's picked up anything. King studying very hard, goes to the ropes. Knocked right off his feet. He hits the animal. That is not the way, Jerry. I think you just found that out. I don't know what is the way, but you're running again. He got bounced off of Animal, and then Hawks lugged him from the side, knocked him down. Really kind of just a swinging push. 7.5 minutes in. Jerry Lawler, the Animal. Lawler trying to come up. Can't get him. Animal just pressed him up over his head, dumped him off on a slam. Lawler gets the same treatment out of Hawk. Whoa! And the first armor chink as Lawler moved out of the way and Hawk hit the deck hard. Lawler with a good shoulder. Goes for the drop kick. Hawk just backs up. Swings that big arm around. Oh, and Lawler got him from behind. While the Road Warriors have faced a lot of big teams, I'm sure, they haven't faced a team that's got any more ring savvy than Lawler and Idol. Here comes Austin, the heartthrob, to face Hawk. 9 minutes and 30 seconds as Hawk goes into a side headlock on Austin Idol. Idol down twice, and Hawk going really after him. Pitches him out through the second rope, down on the floor. He misses a big right. Idol dumps him down on the knee on the concrete. And then Austin hunts back up in the ring. And a huge crowd responding to Idol's request. Austin feeling very good after that winning the bout on the floor, but that, in fact, does not make a victory yet. It's encouraging, but not a victory. The Road Warriors switch. Animal in, Hawk out. Forearm. Whip. And Animal meets the turnbuckle as Lawler follows it up after the tag from Idol. Reversal with 4 minutes. Animal puts a foot in Lawler's back. Hawk takes over. Big elbow, and when I say big, you got to believe it. Followed by a right hand, the referee gets on Hawk. Double elbow, and Lawler flattened right in the ring. Animal dropped with all of it right down. Idol comes in, breaks up the count as Hawk stomping away on Lawler. Boy, Jerry taking a pounding. Road Warrior. Chinlock on Lawler. Slams his head into the top turnbuckle. Coming up with 2 minutes left to go. Coming up with 2 minutes left to go. Coming alive. Down on the floor. Idol with the animal across the way. A minute and a half left. On the concrete, Lawler using a mic stand. Blast. Hawk right in the head with it. Runs him into a ring post. So does Idol with Animal. Oh, Idol throws referee Jerry Calhoun down. Ring the bell. Going to be a disqualification on Lawler and Idol, I'll bet you. Double disqualification. We've got to have a winner. Double disqualification. Well, we've never run into this one before. The battle goes on, although the match is over. Hawk just lays one on. Referee Jerry Calhoun, he bounced him, man, right in the chops. Now he's picking him up. Idol goes after Hawk. Here comes referee Paul Morton. He's slapped down to the floor. Body slam on Jerry Calhoun. Austin Idol throws Paul Morton out of the way. It's a bedlam. Here comes promoter Eddie Marlin. Marlin calling for a little help. I don't blame him. Hawk and Animal, Idol and Lawler really going at it. Referee Jerry Calhoun was blasted on the floor. There was a double disqualification. Here comes Tommy Gilbert. Well, the ring's filling up now. Pork Chop Cash, Rick and Robert Gibson, and Rick Morton, the Rock and Roll Express. Pork Chop, the 18, Carl Crook, Dream Machine. Idol going after Animal. Look at him go. It just goes on. Lawler and Idol against the Road Warriors. The ring is full. Trying to keep them apart, but with no success.